Hello. Happy Thursday. Oh my gosh, we are just rocking and rolling with our author spotlights this week, featuring all the amazing, prolific women writers of the Cinderella Monologues. And I am so delighted to have our next author come on the screen with us today. Her name is Debora J. Hollick. And I love the way she titled her chapter. So we'll reveal that in just a minute. So hang on and stay tuned for this episode. But first off, imagine what a conversation with Cinderella would go like. How would you greet her? What would you say? What kind of questions would you ask her? And it reminds me of one of the, coming of age preteen books I used to love reading as a kid. I was a huge fan of Judy Blume, and one of my favorite books was, Dear God, Are You There? It's Me, Margaret. And so I was just thinking of that today in reflecting on Debora's chapter for the Cinderella Monologues. And I thought of this question: Are you there, Cinderella? It's me. So I think it'd be so fun if you were to write a dialogue as you're watching our series of author spotlights, perhaps to be involved and write a dialogue out of what you might say to Cinderella in a conversation with her. So I'm, again, super excited to introduce to you Debora J. Hollick. She is known as a smash-through mentor. She's an intuitive consultant all the way from Canada, and she's with us here today. So please welcome Debora J. Hollick. Ta-da!
Hi, Olivia. Thank you so much for having me. So excited to be here with you.
It's always a pleasure to have you. I love talking to you, Debora, and you really are like that smash through mentor. I can just recall a very recent conversation I was having, and you just gave me like one tip, and it like totally changed my course. Like you really helped me just smash through that obstacle, and it was profound. Like you have such a gift for guiding people. Like you see it, and I think it comes from years of your corporate experience, right? With marketing and sales and having this intuition, and now really shaping that into your current business.
I agree with you 100%. I just, it seems the words just come for what people need. And, sometimes I don't even remember what it is, but it fits for them. So I'm just very blessed in that way, and hasn't failed me yet. So I'm very excited about that. And I love helping people. Like when you told me that just happened to help you that way, I thought, oh, wow, I'm so happy, that you can just have a conversation with somebody and help them with something that they were having a challenge with.
Absolutely. And how is it that you became known as a smash through mentor? Like that is such a unique moniker. I'm very curious if there's a backstory behind that.
Well, I was trying to figure out what to name my company, and I was talking with one of my friends, and she said, well, you're kind of a get her done kind of girl. You like to just things done. So you smash through stuff. I said, oh, and I'm a mentor, so I could be smashed through mentor. And that's how it was born.
I love it. Get her done.
Yeah, I'm a get her done kind of girl.
Get her done. I'm going to write down this one. Get her done kind of girl. Awesome. Perfect. Hey, if you're watching this in the chat and following along, if you're a get it done type of person, let us know in the chat. Give us a thumbs up if you are. We'd love to see that interaction. All right. Excellent. No, but literally, because, you just gave me this one sentence and it's like, Olivia, you just have to be one step ahead. I'm like, oh, yeah. And I think we were discussing like technology and working with someone like yourself and kind of guiding them through some of this new terrain. And that's helped because I do work with a lot of people that may be feeling a little bit intimidated, right? We've got all these new tools at our fingertips, and it does take a little bit of guidance. But you also, at the same time, you don't have time for like a learning curve.
That's for sure. And you have helped me so much in what you've taught me in such a short time. And you are way more than one step ahead of people. I have to share that with the audience because you are amazing with what you know. And I just really appreciate what you've done for me, with just helping guide me on the things you have. So, LinkedIn especially, wow, you want some great tips on a profile, you want to listen to Olivia's audios and videos that she's got out because she's amazing. And I love the way you explain things. It doesn't make me feel like I'm totally silly. It's just that technology doesn't come that easy to some of us, especially when we haven't had to use it like, people nowadays, or younger people, I should say, not that those of us can't do it. I can do it, but I've got so many other irons in the fire. Like you say, there's just no time for the learning curve on a lot of it.
Wonderful. It's my pleasure. I love helping you, Debora, and you're such a willing student, I have to say. That's awesome. So going back to your chapter, I mean, you titled your chapter Cinderella, Cinderella, Why Don't You Listen? Where did the inspiration come from that chapter title? Because I think you're the only authors in our table of contents that posed as a question.
Well, it came from the fact that my chapter is about certain instances in my life where I thought I should have made better choices, and I didn't listen. I didn't listen to my parents and their concerns, and I didn't listen to my intuition. And I'm a believer that if we don't listen to the whispers, we get the 2x4. So it fit pretty much the same with Cinderella, Cinderella, Why Don't You Listen? So that's how I came up with the title, and it fit really well. And I kind of got a chuckle out of some of the lines that came out because it just kind of flowed out of me, and it seemed to land appropriately, each time. At least the editor and publisher thought so.
Indeed, indeed. And what I think is also really fascinating is that, many of the authors in this particular compilation book, were first timers, first time being a book project and publishing their stories. However, you, my friend, are a two-time international best-selling author and speaker already. So what was this project like? And I think you might have talked about these whispers and the 2x4s in another chapter for a different book. And did this help you expand on that concept?
Yeah, it just was another instance in my life. I like to say I'm kind of an expert on getting a 2x4. So it gave me an opportunity to give people another aspect of it that maybe they can relate to in their own lives. And I'm, hopeful that someone will learn from, from my challenges. And I don't know, do you call them mistakes? We are the sum total of what we've experienced. So I don't know if I call it a mistake as much as a learning curve or an experience that, has helped shape the person I am today. And yes, I am very honored to be in a journal that's an international bestseller, and also in the third book in Blue Talks. But you asked how Cinderella Monologues was different in this experience. Well, first of all, working with Mila, I've had the privilege of interviewing Mila for Week of Kindness. And then that was 2 years ago. And we just had so much fun. And she enjoyed the interview, as did I. And then we were both in Week of Kindness again, which, by the way, happens to be coming up again in November. So I'll just put a little plug in there for my friend Tony Kaufman and Week of Kindness, because it's such a good program. And that's where Mila and I met. So I asked Mila if she would interview me this time. And so we just have hit it off really well. And when she mentioned Cinderella Monologues, she asked me to be in it, and I said I'd love to. And one of the things I really love is how much she's taught us about writing. She has really, really given, so much of her expertise to us. Like, I learned a whole lot of stuff in there. And so I think, probably it's, for first-time writers. I've also written for a magazine for a year. And so I maybe have a tiny bit more experience than some of the other people. I, certainly won't say I'm a pro by any stretch, but learning from Mila and just some of the nuances of writing was just exceptional. And she just gave us so much of her time and effort. It's just wonderful.
Yeah, we're so privileged to have her dedication and her Mariah and her editing team. I mean, they are just fantastic at what they do, and they really want to make sure that we are putting our best foot forward, our best story forward.
Yeah. And I'd encourage, I think she's coming out with another one. And so I'd sure encourage some of the listeners, if they have the opportunity to get in there, they better get in it while there's time.
Excellent. Well, speaking of, I mean, we're barely, just days away from our own Cinderella Monologues book launch on October 22nd, 2022. And you're finding writers and contributors for your own book project, Live Life in Wow. And isn't it funny that so many of the authors from the Cinderella Monologues have decided to follow you in this book project?
I'm so excited and honored. I have to tell you, I consider it an honor and a privilege that so many are going to be in my book too, because it's an anthology as well. And it's about, like you say, living life in wow, nuggets of wonder, openness, and wisdom. And we have so many wise people in this group. I just love it. And I've learned so much from them. And I think we've learned from each other. And it's been just, I'm just tickled pink that they want to participate. It's wonderful.
One thing Mila always encourages us is to be as in many anthologies as possible, to go find those book projects so that way we get our name and create awareness around who we are and what we do, etc. So I just think, I'm going to be following you. Mila's in it too. And like LaDonna and Katie. So many of us are just going to be.
And Amy.
And Amy, yes. And so I think it's just quite interesting because there's so much that you can say in a chapter, and the story keeps on getting more and more expansive. And so very grateful to you that that you've offered this opportunity so that we can continue on this writing journey, because I think that it does get a little bit addicting. Like once you have it out there, you can't stop.
Yeah, that's true. I started writing for the magazine, well, a couple of magazines, and I started writing for them, and I just found, wow, like I could put out this article, and it seemed to be so well received, and I was so excited about that. So I was, just very, very happy about that. So it was just, then I thought, well, then I was offered to write in the journal, and I was offered to write in the Blue Talks, pardon me, book 3 there, and then Cinderella Monologues. And I'm actually in another one coming up that should be published around December 20th, called The Butterfly Effect. And it's an international women's book. So I'm very excited about that one too.
Wait, what? I didn't know about that one, The Butterfly Effect.
Well, I have to leave some mystery there, Miss Olivia. I can't tell you everything.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Spoiler alert. Okay. So we've got the butterfly theme going on for the Cinderella Monologues, right? To represent transformation, metamorphosis. And then you've got a follow-up book, it seems, in December with the butterfly effect. Wow. Give us a little bit of a synopsis about that one.
Well, it's with a lovely group of women as well. And it's sort of, I'm not sure how to describe it exactly, but it's sort of in keeping with the United Nations mandate of encouraging women and girls to be empowered. So it's along those lines. There's a completely different story I wrote in that one.
That is fantastic. Wonderful. So if you're just tuning in, we are with Debora J. Hollick, one of our esteemed authors of the Cinderella Monologues. And, this is barely in the printing press, and she's already working on another book compilation project that many of our authors are going to be following in her footsteps over there. There's actually 2 links that are going to pop on the screen if you're looking for more details. I think she's got a few more slots left. We're down to the wire, it seems, right? Because you're trying to get this to the editor by next month. First week?
Yeah, the cutoff for this book, but there is going to be more, so get in touch with me. We are going to make it a series because, hey, there's so much wow that needs to go on in the world. The whole purpose of it being that, we want to help people start to think in wow and find the wow in every situation, the good, the bad, the ugly, and in between. There's always something we can find, a nugget in there that we can find. And so that's the whole purpose of the whole book and the series. And there's going to be events with it. So yeah, there's a couple links there that are in there. And if you just click on one of those, there's the US Global, there's one for Canada as well. And yeah, it's exciting.
And what I love about how you came up with this book is that there's a companion playbook, which I've not seen done before. I would love for you to talk a little bit about that, how that is, being formed too.
Well, one of the things in the Live Life in Wow book, there's going to be a summary at the end of every chapter of the wow from the author's perspective. So what's the wonder, the openness, and the wisdom? And we want to encourage the readers to get in touch with the authors, because one of the things that I've always found is, I've read, thousands of books, and there's been lots of times where I thought, oh, I wish I could talk to that author, wish I could communicate with them, but I never found that there was a welcome door open to be able to do that. So I want to change that for the readers' experience and the authors. And so the playbook is going to be, it's an optional edition for the authors. And it's going to be something where each author is going to be able to put either, say, an exercise or something that they want to reach out to the readers with, that the readers can actively participate in. And then they, can converse again with the authors and with myself, and hopefully we'll have a membership group at some point that's private for our readers and whatnot, so that it can be really shared and lots of fun, just so to make it very, very interactive.
What I especially love is that you are really focusing on building community, and you're making authors and the participants, the readers, being able to have access to like a dialogue, right? I think that's so wonderful. It makes a book like living and breathing. Like a book is not meant to be on the shelf. Like it's meant to be like touched and read and reflected upon and interacted with. And so I think that's really awesome that you're including that companion playbook, and then, to host future events and really driving community. Because I think that's what is so much needed now, right? As part of like being open to the wow.
Yeah, and I want people to be able to tell their stories. I think everybody has a story, and I, want to connect it with veterans and seniors, and I want, there's a whole plan for the whole thing. And so as it unfolds, it's going to be really, really exciting. And I want it to be with my authors that are joining me, the co-authors. I want this to be a collaboration. Not just, Debora says this is the way it's going to go. I love ideas and I love collaboration. And wow, there are so many amazing people in this book that I've already learned so much from and had the privilege of conversing with and learning about their stories. And just, we've helped each other along the way. And I'm just so, so excited to bring this book out. And I'm so excited for Cinderella Monologues, because it also is that type of wonderful collaboration. Mila is so open and so wonderful and wise. And the authors, I just love the group of who we are, like together. The energy is just wonderful.
It truly, truly is. And I think collaborations are, necessary more so than ever before. And so I'd love to hear from you, Debora, your top 3 tips for a good collaboration.
Well, I think being open to ideas, being flexible, because there has to be some flexibility. Sometimes things don't quite go according to plan, even though we have these great plans in place. And just to be authentic. And I'm going to throw one more in there: enthusiasm to support each other.
I like that. Open, flexible, enthusiastic, and there is one more.
Authentic.
Authentic. There we go. I'm trying to capture this perfectly on the screen. Enthusiastic. and authentic. Awesome. So if you are new to collaborations and want to learn more about collaborations, these are some of Deborah's tips on how you can make sure that you've got a good one. So I love that. Thank you, Deborah, for sharing that.
Thank
And
you.
I can attest, to our collaboration that's forming, right? We're still kind of in the early stages of forming. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful being able to work with you, to bounce ideas off of you. Like, you're just an awesome sounding board.
Well, it's my pleasure to help you with anything. I just love working with you and having fun with you. And you're a wealth of knowledge in your own right. So, it's nice that we complement each other.
It is really. And we're forming like, just, the powerhouse, right? The powerhouse of people, your go-to resources. I love it.
And
You
on top of that, friendships. I feel real friendships with many of the people that we're collaborating with. Real honest friendships, not just oh, I'm a friend on Facebook. It's way more than that. We talk, we converse, we share. It's real, and I can hardly wait till we all get to meet in person.
Exactly. And I think what also strengthens this friendship is that we have each other's stories in mind. Like, we know a little bit more beyond the surface about what you've gone through, what has happened, how you've overcome certain things. I think there's real value in that too, right? That we've bypassed the sort of meet and greet on the surface because we know each other's stories at such an intimate level.
Well, and I think, well, I being one, and I believe some of the other authors shared some things in this in our chapters that very few people know about us, even our family members. And that's opening yourself to be very vulnerable. And it's a little scary, but I think the fact that we've accepted each other and made a safe and sacred place for one another and kind of held sacred space, that it feels okay now, that it's okay to put it out to the rest of the world because we've shared it with our group. And I think that that's really important too, that it's a safe and comfortable space.
Wait a minute, you mean to tell me even your sisters don't know about this chapter you're writing?
That's right. Yeah. Well, they know I'm writing the chapter. They just don't know what's in it.
Are they in for a treat come holiday time?
Well, we'll
Or not?
see.
Wow. Kudos to you, Deborah, for just, being authentic yourself and just like, this is my story to tell.
Well, like I say, I'm just hoping that it's going to help someone else, because none of us are ever alone. I don't think in most of our experiences, there's different degrees of pain and sorrow and joy and frustration and anger and so on and so forth. But we all go through it every day. There's something, and we've all had experiences, and maybe my experience hasn't been as tragic as someone else's, so for that I'm grateful, but it doesn't lessen just because someone's pain or frustration or anger isn't as bad as someone else's, doesn't lessen the degree of what it is for that person. And we need to remember that, I think, in every situation. We everybody has a story and everybody has value. And I think that's really important for society to start remembering.
Indeed. Indeed. Everyone has value. Yes. Excellent. Well, there you have it. This is another author spotlight with the fabulous Debora J. Hollick, one of our authors of the Cinderella Monologues. So we hope that you've enjoyed this conversation and it opened up something in you. Maybe it wowed you, and we encourage you to link up with Debora. She's here on LinkedIn, and if you're curious to hear more about the Live Life and Wow series, get on her mailing list, reach out to her, connect with her, find out what this unique book compilation project is all about, how you may be involved. There's 2 links. So, she's mindful of the inflation rates, which I find, very disheartening. Just like, the range of the inflation rate, right? So you've made that distinction here to offer Canadian friends a very special link. And then, of course, for US and global, it's this link, right? So just be mindful of that. Make sure you're on the right one.
Yes,
Because,
for sure.
yeah, because, Deborah is here to help you. And so I just think that you have such an amazing heart, Deborah. And yeah, I mean, there's no stopping you. I mean, you're smashing through so many things yourself.
I am, as I'm going through all of this, just like everybody else, there's a layer and another layer and another layer. We got to smash through it and get her done.
That's it.
We
That's
may as well
Deborah.
have some fun doing it, right?
Exactly. So there's Deborah for you. You're get it done kind of girl. And so if you're looking for just easy action tips, maybe you're going through a stumbling block or something that I would highly recommend, just reach out to Deborah. She'll fix you. It won't take her long.
Oh, Olivia, I love you. You're just so precious. Oh, goodness. I'll do my best.
Awesome. So there's her link once again. So go follow her on LinkedIn. And we will all see you tomorrow for another fabulous author spotlight with another amazing author. So have a great day, everyone. And we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye
Thank
for
you.
now. Thank you, Deborah.
Bye. Thank you.